Is Space Marine 2 maker Saber Interactive making a new D&D game? Plus the Dimension 20 crossover that no one saw coming.
Say hi, righteous wrestlers!
Today we've got 2 new tabletop adjacent stories for you to munch on, but before we dive in, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons to support a new, independent tabletop and fantasy news channel. Now with that all out of the way, let's jump into some stories, shall we? During an earnings call last week, Hasbro CEO Chris Cox revealed that the company was teaming up with Saber Interactive to make a new AAA title using one of Hasbro's tentpole IPs. Now, this unnamed, untitled, unanything game will feature both single-player action and amazing multiplayer, along with Saber's Warm Tech, which brought the Tyranids to life in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Now, according to Cox, the game will be made by the same development team that made Space Marine 2, because Saber Interactive is actually working on several games right now. Now, at this time, no timeline has been given for the game's release, which probably means that it's like 2 or 3 years away at minimum. Now, Hasbro owns dozens of IPs, of course, but there's only really a few franchises that make sense for a Swarm Tech style game. The first, of course, is Dungeons & Dragons. Hasbro executives have said multiple times, over and over and over again, that they have big plans for D&D's future in video games, and the idea of fighting hordes of enemies fits well with D&D's high fantasy themes. Goblins, demons, devils, kobolds, and countless other monsters from D&D would really fit well with a multiplayer game that involves defeating waves of enemies. Some other possibilities that we could think of for IPs? Transformers or G.I. Joe, both of which don't really fit with the Swarm Tech system perfectly, but still a lot of promise there in the right hands, and Saber Interactive has those right hands. Now, Space Marine 2 was a fantastic hit in 2024, and we're really excited to see what their next game will be. Now, this feels like a D&D game just based on all the smoke that is, floating around over it, but we are ready to be surprised. In other news, Dimension 20's next Undead series will feature several WWE superstars. Dropout has announced Dimension 20 Titan Takedown, a new season of the popular D&D actual play series. Brennan Lee Mulligan will serve as the DM for the new 5-episode series, and professional wrestlers Bayley, Chelsea Green, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston will be the players. The new season of Dimension 20 will launch on April 2nd, with new episodes airing on the Dropout streaming service every Wednesday thereafter. Now, as for characters, Bayley will play the Minotaur Barbarian Thea Kitterloo, Green will play Tabaxi Rogue Tabitha, Woods will play Monk Julia Mortum, that sounds like an Undertaker reference, and Kingston will play King Adonis Thanaformus. King Adonis, I'm like 99% positive, is a WWE wrestler, I think. Anyways, the game is set in a mythical version of Athens, and the story involves, appropriately, a wrestling event of epic proportions called Titan Takedown. Now, you may remember that back in the day, Woods' Up Up Down Down YouTube channel, which is produced by WWE, but Woods has creative control over, previously featured several seasons of Rollout, which was a D&D/tabletop RPG actual play show. Now, this whole thing is a pretty cool crossover, although kind of an unexpected one, since WWE is a much bigger entity than the plucky Dropout service. I guess it signals how much Dimension 20 has grown as a brand, since WWE is willing to work with them for this program instead of something like Critical Role or Wizards of the Coast. Anyways, that's all the stories that we have for you today. Let us know what your favorite was in the comment section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe button.